Good night.
I love you, Mom.
David?
It's tough stuff.
David, wake up!
I've noticed a theme in horror cinema as of late. In recent films like Saint Maud, The Lodge, and Censor, the audience is left to question whether what's happening on screen is actually happening to these lead characters, or if it's simply all in their heads. In the case of Ivan Kavanagh's son, it is perhaps more ambiguous than the other films I mentioned, leaving the audience without any definitive answers until the very end. Andi Matichak plays Laura, a single mother who seeks help when her 8-year-old son, David, played by Luke David Blum, suddenly falls ill to a mysterious disease that stumps doctors. Laura accuses a deadly cult from her past of being behind the strange illness and opens up to a local police officer named Paul, played by Emil Hirsch. Paul seems to be the only person who takes Laura's concerns seriously, though he too begins to question her as people in her path keep turning up dead. There's something downright creepy about cults, any cult, not just the ones that murder people. Sun embraces this creep factor, and Kavanagh, who also wrote this film in addition to directing, does a good job at using this backstory to propel the plot forward, and with some truly emotional and frightening scenes to boot. If you're a parent, these emotional scenes are bound to resonate, especially if you've had a child who's gone through some sort of medical trauma. In fact, if you've experienced anything like that, Sun may be a trigger for you, so be warned. There is a paranormal element at play here, but it is up to you as the viewer to determine whether or not it is in fact happening here or an illusion. I don't want to give too much away, but this particular factor is actually brought up in the film's trailer. In fact, the trailer might have you wondering if Sun is some sort of psychological thriller, or a cult horror film, or perhaps a movie based on something even more sinister. Maybe it's all of the above, who knows? However you want to classify this film, Sun is dark and at times nihilistic. You feel the hopelessness in our lead character, her paranoia and fear, and you understand her determination to do whatever it takes to protect her son. The cast really delivers here, including 11-year-old Blum, who really took on a lot with this particular role, especially considering this is only his second film project, following a small part in last year's The King of Staten Island. As for Kavanagh himself, this was not his first foray into the horror genre. Following some short films, the Dublin-born Kavanagh wrote and helmed the Irish horror Tin Can Man on a micro-budget in 2007. He then wrote and directed the critically acclaimed The Canal in 2014, before taking a brief break from horror to direct Hirsch in a 2019 western called Never Grow Old. However, horror seems to be his passion, which comes off in his latest feature film, which is available to stream right now on Shudder. One of my only real complaints with Sun is that we're forced to spend the bulk of this film trying to figure out what this strange illness is and how the characters keep it at bay. In the end, we're left with more questions than answers, although that's not necessarily always a bad thing. In fact, despite being rather vague, I kinda liked how this film concluded. Others may be disappointed. For the record, I'd give Sun 3 stars out of 5. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe. Take care.